Yo. Yeah, sorry about all the technical difficulty. Y'all, like, option wasn't showing up at first to kind of get into, like, adding to the video of what's going on. And then I was trying to do different mediums, but long story, so I had a little glitch in the matrix. But yeah, like, in light of what's going on in Chicago, like, between all black and brown people, like, we want to kind of jump in front of that in a sense, so see what we can do. But at the same time, like, want to make sure, as far as on our understanding, if this is a whole Mexican thing, or if it just know what I'm saying, like, this is this whole ALKQN nation thing. So we got our live with our family, checking in with our family, coming through. Brother, how you doing?
What's going on, family? How are you?
All is well, beloved. All is well. Man, how you feeling out there, man?
I'm doing okay, bro. Just weathering the storm. That's it.
Already, man. Like, for the people tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Get on loved one, you know what I'm saying? A little background and history of, you know what I'm saying? The king, as far when we talk about that milk.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Now, see, basically what we have to understand is the reason that we were founded for in the first place. And that was to take care of our people, to take care of our communities, and to take care of ourselves. That was the origins and the catalyst for the original nation. Understand?
Yes, Lord.
Now, what has happened over the years is a lot of miscommunication, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of individuals not understanding for themselves basically their lessons. So a vacuum was created. And because a vacuum was created, it was filled with a lot of negativity. Okay? Now, because that happened, we started having a lot of infighting and a lot of division in and of ourselves. And that has basically brought us to where we are today. And that's something that we simply cannot have. For the individual who simply does not value himself, then he's going to be devalued.
Yes, sir.
Those are just facts. So we find ourselves again at a crossroads. But what are we going to do? Are we going to finally unify as a people? In let me say something real fast. I don't like the whole black and brown scenario. That's something that was actually heaped upon us by Caucasians. If you look at your skin, we're all shades of brown. We're either extremely light brown or extremely dark brown. Black is actually a status. When you accept black as a status, you're accepting a lower status as an individual. We're all brown people, but they stuck that in there to divide us once again, you know, calling one black and one calling us brown. We're all brown people. And I happen to be the best of both worlds by being both Hispanic and black, or Hispanic and Haitian.
Mm.
So this division, a lot of that is caused by COINTELPRO. Once again, COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program that has existed since the 40s and the 50s, basically to undermine any of our organizations so that we would not be separated from them, so that we would not find our power base. It would take individuals from within our organizations, weaker individuals, should I say, from our organizations, basically flip them, and they would sell us out. It seems we have a little bit of that going on at recent times as well. So this infighting, this is something that needs to cease.
Yes, sir.
We're going to continue to be disrespected if we do not police ourselves, and that's half of the problem. If we police our own neighborhoods, there's no need to have outside law enforcement on our streets if we're going to be our own police. But basically what we're doing is we're giving them carte blanche to come into our communities and do what it is that they do with our people. So part of it is our faults, but we can correct that. And one of the ways that we do that is by seeing ourselves as human, not with these separations by, let me just say, a point. And that's whether a 6 point or a 5 point. So 1 point is going to separate us to the point that we're going to separate ourselves into non-existence, if you will. We have to do better because we are better. There's no question about it. We are better. And we have to stop devaluing ourselves. Or we're going to continue year after year seeing the same thing, building monuments of nothingness and being fringe groups and fringe organizations because this is what they want to relegate us to anyway. So it's up to us to change this. Only we can change this. There's no outside entity that can do this for us. It has to be us.
Peace and love. I'm more, my brother. I wanna like ask you did too, and kind of for the people listening, like from your perspective, it did what going on, know what I'm saying, with the Mexicans, and like is this a Latin King issue or this a Mexican? Like what's the issue? How you feel about what's going on in Chicago?
What I see is what I'm going to call inter-race baiting. And that means anything to stoke the fires of division. There is no difference between us except for the differences that we decide to see. So I'm sure they have a lot of individuals behind the scenes that are being paid to say that there is a division. Now, are there problems? Are there issues? Yeah, of course. There's going to be that in every community. There's going to be problems and issues for whatever reasons. But I do believe it's a lot of outside influence that is causing us to believe in these lies that we're hating one another for whatever reasons we can't get along. I don't think that's correct. I don't think it's true. I know it's not a lot of us. I was just on the phone yesterday with a brother from Little Village. There's no problem except what the media wants us to believe. But behind the scenes, we're fine. We're fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And going forward like that, like going forward, you know what I'm saying? How can we strengthen the connection, you know what I'm saying? We can eliminate the confusion of what's going on. right now, even though what we seeing, like brothers actually dying, like it look like a war where they trying to perceive in the media, they trying to make it out of black and brown.
Correct.
So how do we, you know what I'm saying, get a better understanding to some people that it is some king that still, you know what I'm saying, under that fire, that still, I mean, this same struggle that we demonstrate. So
Correct.
how do we you know what I'm saying, from your perspective, how do we differentiate the two? Like what's a fair way for us to, cause right now, like when we look at the post, it's saying that this is a land king calling, like, you know what I'm saying, like saying y'all like the caretaker of the whole administration of what's going on.
Right. Well, to me, one of the things that we need to do is we need to have open dialogue. We need to communicate. What has been happening over the past, I don't know, 15 years, maybe even up to 20 years, what we've been doing is we haven't been talking to one another. We've been talking past one another.
It's part of my body, beloved. Hey, you might need to change. I ain't trying to look at your feet. You know what I'm saying? You're a light skinned, good looking brother, but
Ah, yeah, hold on. Let me know. Is that better?
yeah, that better, man.
Okay. I didn't even know I hit that button, bro.
It's
Appreciate
good.
you, fam.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, you can continue though, beloved.
Yeah, I got you, bro. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to have open dialogue, and we need to have honest dialogue with those that want to build. For those that are not interested in building, they have to fall by the wayside. It's tough love, is what it is. A lot of individuals are not going to like this, truly, are not going to like this. But everyone is not a member for the same reason. And it's sad to say. But if they read their lessons and better still understand their lessons, they will know exactly what they need to be doing.
Yes,
There would
sir.
be no
Yes, sir.
sense of ambiguity whatsoever. You would know your lessons. You know how to behave.
Mighty.
Just by merely grabbing that word and running around and saying, okay, you know what, I'm king, that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean anything if you're not following the lessons.
Yes,
Anyone
sir.
can say that. But we truly need to have open dialogue. We need to sit down and we need to talk about what the real issues are. Why are we at this perpetual distance? You know what I mean? What is drawing this wedge between peoples of the same stripes? If you live over there and you're poor, and I'm living over here and I'm poor, are we not still poor?
For
So what
real.
the hell are we going to do about that? Are we going to continue allowing ourselves to be poor? To have
Oh, yeah.
individuals putting us in that situation where we're down here fighting for scraps? Or are we going to get on the come up? But it's going to take all of us to do so. So open dialogue is important,
Hey,
along
what
with
you
us older brothers reaching back to the younger generation and letting them know what it is that they should be doing for real.
Yes, sir.
And I say that a lot of us older brothers have been, wow, we've abandoned our responsibility. Truly have abandoned our responsibility. And we have to discontinue doing that. I'm responsible for my younger brothers. That's the reason why anytime I see one of them that's in error, I correct them. Now, sometimes you're hated for correcting them, but you do what it is that you must do.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we have to do. We have to sit down. We have to figure out what the real issues are, not these surface issues that are created by the system, but what's these real issues between peoples that are keeping us apart, regardless of what you call yourself, regardless if you're 5 point, 6 point, whatever the case may be. There's something that has drawn a wedge between us that keeps us at a distance.
You
And
know
we
what I
have
was
to
just,
change this.
you know what I was just looking at though. I was just watching it.
What's that?
Somebody had sent, yeah, somebody just sent a video on a demonstration, but it's the colorism thing. It going back to the whole concept of colorism, like dark over light,
Right,
light over dark. So you got some, it ain't just, you know what I'm saying, a king thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole world thing. Some light,
correct,
it's in that culture of that right there. It's still stem of white supremacy. So I can see where it's stem
correct. We gotta, we basically, what I like to say is we major on the minors entirely too much.
from. So
You know what I mean? We take small issues and we turn them into big problems when they simply don't have to be. But again, I think it goes back to how we value ourselves.
mm,
You know what I mean? If you don't value yourself, don't expect the system to, to value you. It's simply not going to happen.
so
So again, we're part responsible for what happens to our brothers and sisters in our communities. Because if we had more of a solid communal system, outside enforcement would be afraid to come into our communities to do anything to one of us.
yeah, pause that, bro. Yeah, what's going on, man? We bad live, like, yeah, man. They hard to
Okay.
get me on. I couldn't really record on my page, so I had to come to my personal page. But let me
All right. No worries, bro.
yeah, I'm gonna let you speak, but let me I gotta share. I'm on the dead, so I gotta share it to my other page and all that. Let
No worries.
Juan
I'm right here.
know. But you can kind of go where you left, pick up where you left off in the meantime and in between time.
Got you, bro. So back to the problem at hand. What are we going to do with this issue in our community? Uh, Again, let me go back to communication. We have to have honest dialogue. We got to sit down and figure out what the major issues are that are keeping us apart. Uh, I have an idea. I'm sure COINTELPRO once again has a whole lot to do with it, as causing these infiltrators to get into our organizations just to destroy them from inside out.
Yeah,
And
so
what you got, bro?
uh,
Oh, okay, I'm good. Okay, yeah, we.
I'm listening.
But yeah, truly, that's where it comes though. Communication is everything. If you're being fed, whether it's by your brother or not, if you're being fed misinformation, and you're not going to research, then you're going to end up following that misinformation. And that's one of the things that we need to discontinue doing. Uh, that's why in a lot of our organizations, quote unquote street organizations, we need some of the best and the brightest. And that doesn't mean, rocket scientists, whatever the case may be, but we do need individuals that can articulate, so they can read these lessons for themselves and know what it is that they're following. So, and we don't always have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening, bro.
No worries, bro. No worries.
That's it.
I finished that thought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure we on there on the all of the platforms and stuff.
Exactly.
Cause it's my personal page, and I think I already maxed out at 5,000 friends. So
Okay.
yeah, like I just shared it
That's
to
what
my
it is.
page. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so basically, you know what I'm saying, for one, then tuning in, like when we picking up where we left off on the page, it's a situation and issue going on in Chicago where
Right.
it's like a quote unquote like a war between Mexican, Latinos, and black people. You know what I'm saying? Some people have died, some people
Yeah.
still out there with the shits right now, so to speak, on both
Correct.
sides. So now we just having
Correct.
a dialogue to kind of get understanding and clarity to the situation and
Right.
see where we can
I,
go forward and a better
I hate.
understanding. And also, it's a question out here like
Right.
that's out here like trying to make sure that some brother will had the impression that Latkins ain't onion and all, they ain't up under that fire no more. So we wanted to get clarification on that as well, like
Right.
far with the definition. So that was the conversation, that was the understanding, that what we were
Yeah.
speaking on.
It's the what's funny about that is it depends on where you are. It depends on which state you're in, and that's one of the problems. We've lost basically a national consensus, if you will, on basically how we're going to move forward, how we're going to march, how we're going to behave, who our alliances are with, and things of that nature. And that depends on what state you're in. It's as simple as whatever state you're in, because you can be in Alabama and have a perfect relationship with all people. Anyone that rocks the five, that's your thing. And there's also some states where 5 and 6 get along very well. And they just base it on the fact that, okay, you know what? The color of our skin keeps us unified, because we know there's outside influence that has
Mm-hmm.
been, creeping in to keep us divided. And this
Mm-hmm.
is basically, the system fears who we are. So they don't want us to unify. Case in point, there's an old movie. You remember the Warriors?
Break it down to me. I done seen so much and read so much that I just remember detail. Sometimes I don't remember name.
Okay. Well, the movie The Warriors from the 70s had Cyrus lead, basically unify all the gangs in New York. And because law enforcement didn't fear that and they didn't want that, they had infiltrators amongst all the different groups, all the different nations, to cause
Mm-hmm.
division. And it's the same thing they're doing today. It's the same exact thing, where we would understand how much power we really did have if we unified. Uh, we find that our divisions are more interesting than unification. And that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what the system wants. They want us to think that way. So basically, if we're in our various communities and we're killing one another, we're not going to be a problem to them. And that's exactly what they bank on. We're just not smart enough to see that. Some of us are not smart enough to see that. You and I,
True,
we
true.
know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. I know it's someone's there too. I know it's something that'll ride for me. That ride that gold and black. I know I'll ride for something.
Right,
A lot more. Every like shit, I know that crime.
right.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So,
Absolutely. So it's always going to be individuals that for whatever reason that that it's going to bring division. They're going to bring negativity or whatever the case may be. But my thing is I'm a hardliner. I'm an
yeah.
extreme hardliner. I'm one of those individuals that says, okay, you know what? If you are causing problems amongst the ranks, you're out. That's just me. Period. If you're going to be a weak link in the chain, then we simply can't have you around. If you're talking division and not unification, then we simply can't have you around. If you're not interested in building and you want to destroy, then you got to go. Period. Because we're all in the same boat. You can't have someone in the boat with the damn drill drilling holes because eventually we're all going to drown. See?
For real.
So
For real.
we can't have that.
We all trying to get to that same place.
Indeed, bro. Absolutely. And we're all in it together. And that's the thing that I don't understand.
So
We're
going
all in it
forward,
together.
we want to get into solution that, but one like one that just coming into the conversation, like
Right.
let kind of let what would be a solution or how can we go forward with the Chicago demonstration? Then we can get into like how can we go forward forward. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
as far as even with some other, you know what I'm saying, spread